Hi, Allison.
Hi.
How are you today?
Doing good.
Good. So what are some things that you would like to talk about today?
I really want to talk about just relationships and just that transition.
Okay. So what do you want to start with? What's the transition you're speaking of?
Well, okay. So I've been with my boyfriend for, 3 years. We've been together 3 years, but we've been long distance for 3 years. And so I just moved to Cleveland, and it's like he wants to hang out all the time. And I have a schedule. Like, I go to the gym, and I like to go out with my friends. And, I did all of this in Chicago, and now he expects me just to change everything to just adapt to him. But, I kind of liked how I functioned in Chicago.
Okay, so what are some things that are causing conflict?
So, an example. So, okay. So this weekend, I have a group of friends in Cleveland, and we've started this social calendar. And so every week we go out and we do something. And, a couple weeks ago, one of the girls put up that on Friday, we're going to go out and do like a slumber party thing. Super fun. And then Saturday, we were all going to go out for one of the girls' birthdays. So, of course, I want to hang out with my friends. That's really important. And so I accepted both. And then my boyfriend, Kev, he, got really upset because I made plans without talking to him. And he had planned something for Saturday, and I clearly had already made plans. But he doesn't make plans right away. And I like to make my plans in advance.
So what would that conversation look like?
Usually, that conversation was, I'm sorry, I have plans. Can we do something on Sunday? And he didn't take that very well because he had, he'd gotten tickets for a game. So
what did he say?
He's kind of passive. So he was just like, well, I made these plans because I thought you would be free on Saturday. But if that's what you want to do, that's fine. And so he just kind of pushed it away. But I know he's mad, and I'm kind of mad at him for not saying that he's mad.
Okay, so what did you guys come up with a solution, or what ended up happening?
I went and did stuff with my friends, and we hung out on Sunday. I really like that, I'm trying to establish myself in Cleveland, and I'm still very focused on my friends, but we mesh well, and we were fine when we were long distance. But being a couple, it just sucks.
Why do you say that?
Because I have to rearrange my schedule.
Is there some sort of way that you could work him into your schedule?
I try. We'll do dinner once a week, but sometimes that interferes with my workout, so I like to push dinner to a little bit later so I can go work out. He just doesn't have a lot going on. He's not very social. He lives with his friends, and I'm super social.
So it sounds like you have a much busier schedule than he does?
Mm-hmm.
So in the past, when you guys were not long distance, how did you guys work that out?
Well, I don't really count when we weren't long distance because we were in college. So, I was really busy in college, and he wasn't that busy. But I had 2 jobs when we first started dating, which was towards the end of our senior year of college. So, I don't know. It was just more whenever we saw each other. We hung out with the same group of friends, so it wasn't a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Friday and Saturdays, we would all be hanging out in the same group. So.
Is there a way you can work them into the group you're hanging out with now?
It's usually girls. It's a girls thing. I just don't want to miss out.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I might miss out and I don't want to be that girl that focuses on her boyfriend.
How would you describe that girl?
So I used to have friends who they would get with a boy, and all of their friends would just disappear. They would just disappear off the face of the planet.
Okay.
So like you'd call them and say, hey, do you want to do this? And be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm doing this with, Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd say, okay, well, do you want to do something the next day? Oh, no, Johnny and I are going to go do this. So by the time that, like, Johnny and them are, like, established, they don't even see their friends anymore. And then when they break up, they, like, not that I'm saying that we're going to break up, but I'm just saying, like, they just kind of lose all their friends, and then they're only a couple, and they only function as a couple. And I think there's, I don't think that's healthy to not be able to do anything without your significant other. And I guess what I'm doing is probably not the healthiest either, but I don't want to be that extreme, so.
So what does the middle ground look like for you?
Oh, I don't know. What do you think it should look like?
I don't know. It's your relationship, I think. What do you want it to look like? If you had your ideal relationship where you balanced everything out, how would it look like?
I mean, I think it would look like I would still get to hang out with my friends on certain days, but then we would do stuff on certain days. But he would also make plans in advance.
Okay.
Because I get anxious when I don't have plans, and so I just start making them.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I could start to include him in those plans. And, like, there's some things that are important that I do with the girls, but other things aren't as important. So I guess I could. So it would be balancing those and making sure that I talked to him before I made plans.
Okay. Does that sound like something you can do?
I don't know. That's, I like being my individual self.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about me right now.
That's understandable. Do you want to include him more in your plans?
I do, because I feel like, I moved to Cleveland for pretty much this, not for, for this reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I knew I would have to come to Ohio, because he's in law and he just passed the bar in Ohio, and so it's a determining factor in my school place, like where I went to school.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't realize it would be so hard.
Okay. And your discussions with him about that, does he ever bring up this balancing issue?
I mean, he'll just say that you seem to hang out with your friends a lot, and, he'll try to make plans at the last minute. But, we don't really like to rock the boat, so
Okay.
no. We don't try to have conversations that would end in an argument.
Okay. Do you think that it would be a good idea to invite him to one of our sessions so we could talk about that?
Mm-hmm. I don't know about that.
How come it would be an issue?
I don't know, I get awkward.
Awkward how?
I kind of like having one-on-one focus, and I guess I should work with him.
Mm-hmm. So going forward, what do you think there's things that you could change that would make it more comfortable?
I guess I can start to make plans with him ahead of time before I make plans with my friends, but making sure that, like, one day is with him and, like, one day can be with my friends, or balance that.
Okay. So do you think it's a realistic goal to set, like, maybe earlier in the week to call him up and be asking what he's doing in the weekend, or?
I think so. I guess when we do dinner during the week, we can make a plan for the weekend.
Okay. So I want that to be your goal this week, to make a plan for the weekend.
Okay.
And if for some reason you think maybe coming back to session with him is a good idea, or that's always an option. So I want you to think about how he's acting, and maybe in a way to bring it up in such a setting that it doesn't end in an argument. So how would that setting look like to you?
I don't know. Repeat the question.
If you could, what kind of setting would you need to be in for it not to end up in an argument? How would you need to approach it?
Probably not in the car. We hate car rides together. But I guess we can do it in, when we're making dinner, because that's usually a good time to bring up things.
So maybe that's something that you could bring up this week?
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
We'll see you next week.
Thanks. You're out of the video.
The whole